A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
My bitch a choosing lover, never fuck without a rubber. Never in the sheets like it on top of the cover. Money on the dresser, drive a compressor. Top notch hoes get the most, not the lesser. Trash like the buck for $40 in the club. Fucking up the game, bitch, it gets no love. She be cross country, giving all that she got. 1,000 a pop, I'm pulling business off the lot. I smashed up the gray one, bought me a red. Every time we hit the parking lot, we turn head. Some hoes wanna choose, but them bitches too scary. Your bitch chose me, you ain't a pimp, you a fairy.
A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
Baby, you been rolling solo, time to get down with the team. The grass is greener on that other side. If you know what I mean, I show you shit you never seen. The 7 wonders of the world. And I can make you the 8 if you wanna be my girl. I say my girl, I don't mean my woman, that ain't my style. Need a real street stalker, walk a green mile. Be piling up the paper on the dining room table, cause you able to realize I'm the truth and not a fable. Baby, rockin' Russian sable, keep that chiller on the rack. What I look like with some $1,000 shit up on my back. I'm $1 million man, they need $1 billion bitch. Put my pimpin' in your life, watch your daddy get rich. Easy as ABC, simple as 1, 2, 3. Get down with UGK, Pimp CBU with B. Cause what's a hoe with no pimp, and what's a pimp with no hoe? Don't be a lame, you know the game and how it goes. We try to get chose.
A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. A pimp, not a simp. We eat so many shrimp. I got iodine partners.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Artie of Artie's Corporate Fiction. A happy Friday to all of you. I have a good show for you tonight with a special guest, somebody who I haven't done a collab with in a very, very long time. So why don't we get to that main screen? We have ourselves the one and only Blue Bacon. Say hi for us, sir.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Blue Bacon.
Making good use of that voice mod, lifetime subscription. Yep, I hear you. I'm right there with you. And today we're going to talk about probably the biggest topic that's been going on this week in this space, which is the Chase Allen incident. And what I wanted to do was, I understand that yesterday, I think all outstanding body cam footage had been released. And we're going to take a look at that. But so shout out to police activity because they had all 5 body cameras stitched together. But what I wanted to do first, though, is I wanted to kind of start not from the beginning, but roll back the clock because the Chase did not learn this on his own. Chase learned it from his mother. And she had her own run-in with law enforcement previously. In fact, one of the big elements or big things that we discovered about them was that the mother had been in a midst of a lawsuit against the police department at the time of the incident. And we're going to I wasn't able to find the raw, and I believe, just to confirm, Blue, you guys can see the shared screen still? All right. I wasn't able to find the raw footage, but this is the best I could find in terms of the body camera footage of her traffic stop. And then what we're going to do is then move next to the court audio of her trial, which does in fact feature her son in the midst of that. And then from there we can move towards the shooting itself. So I'm going to take a look at that, and then again, Blue, just feel free to chime in, or if you need me to pause, obviously you know what to do. All right, let's go.
Exclusive video tonight shows a traffic stop of a woman whose son was shot and killed by Farmington police. This traffic stop was similar to that of her son's.
It was. News specialist Dan Rascone's covering this story for us. He joins us live right now. And Dan, the mom's traffic stop has resulted in a lawsuit.
Yes, that's correct, Mike. The lawsuit filed right here at federal court, she claims that her constitutional rights were violated as a sovereign citizen, and she didn't have to give away any of her personal information there. Now, according to the body cam video, it shows her not giving up her license or registration, just as apparently like her son did.
So the reason I stopped you today is your registration's expired from September of last year.
April of 2022, the mother of 25-year-old Chase Allen, who was shot and killed by police last week.
Do you have your license and insurance information with you?
I'm not operating under a license.
What was that?
I'm not operating under a license, and I'm not operating in my cars.
Having her own encounter with Farmington police. In this body cam video, Diane Allen says she doesn't have to provide officers with her license and registration.
Okay, do you have insurance for the vehicle?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, what about registration?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay.
In her son's case, police say Chase asserted his independence and refused to cooperate with officers and give identification. And when he refused to exit the car, they opened the door and saw a gun.
She says she's not operating under a driver's license.
In his mother's case, she would only hand the officer a passport and a Declaration of Independence document through the one very small window opening.
The reason I stopped you was for the expired registration from September of last year, so... For the expired registration. Okay, let me explain this and I'll get you on your way. So...
She's carrying the Declaration of Independence.
Greg Skortis is a defense attorney in Salt Lake City and is not associated with the case, but he's defended many sovereign citizens in the past.
Really?
He says police are more than patient with Diane.
So I think Farmington handled this perfectly. I think they did it exactly the way they should have.
As for her son's case,
officers were forced to try to get whatever information they could, and in that case they were trying to get him out of the vehicle so that they could get some information from him, and that's when everything went south.
of course, that body cam video of the traffic stop with Chase Allen, that's going to prove to be very vital here in this particular case. Farmington police saying they do plan to release that video in the future. Deanie, back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you.
So that's the initial setup.
Farmington police released body.
That's the initial setup, but I think we're gonna go next to the court audio, which is yay. Make sure it's I'm sharing it right for you guys. Now there's only audio as an FYI, but it's gonna have I listened to it previously, and it's gonna have basically your usual stuff that you're gonna hear, that you tend to hear from these kinds of things. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Please rise. Davis County Justice Court is now in session. Your Honor, J.C. Chowski presiding.
Thank you, Deputy. I appreciate that. You can be seated. Apparently he forgot that part. Hi, Mr. Cole.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hi, Miss Allen. Do you want to come up to the council table there?
I'm fine right here, thank you.
That'll be fine. Mr. Cole, before the trial starts, Miss Allen filed or had someone file on her behalf a request for a continuance. Did you get a copy of that?
I did not.
Do you want to look at it?
No, Judge, I'll object to any continuance.
All right. Miss Allen, Mr. Cole's objecting to a continuance in this case. Do you want to tell me why you think you need a continuance in this case? If you're going to address the court, you need to come up where the microphones can pick you up.
I am fine right here. I am plenty loud enough. Have you received my entry of appearance specially?
I did. The bailiffs brought me a copy of it.
I, Diane Killian Allen, do hereby enter my appearance specially in the above matter for disposition to equity of the parties. Respectfully submitted this day, respecting 28 U.S. Code 1746, Section 1.
Thanks. Ms. Allen, we're going to conduct a bench trial. Here's how we're going to proceed. We're going to have opening statements. You don't have to give one if you choose not to. Opening statements are not evidence, and they're not testimony. They're simply a statement that a party gives me to tell me where the case is going. Ms. Allen, if he's going to distract you in this matter, it's not going to be helpful for you because you won't know what we're doing. After parties give me their opening statements, I'll let Mr. Cole move forward. He's the pro.
Yes, by the way, guys, it's purely audio. This is just the placeholder image. So just as an FYI, I only listened to this once. I can't. Is he suggesting that her son was acting as her counsel? I'm not sure, but I guess we'll figure it out.
Prosecutor in the city bears the burden of proving these crimes beyond a reasonable doubt.
Objection.
He'll introduce overruled. He'll introduce testimony through witnesses and perhaps physical exhibits. You'll have a chance to cross-examine any witnesses he uses and view any exhibits that he uses before they become part of the record. When he's finished, he will rest. When he rests, it'll be your turn to put on a defense if you choose. At that time, you can put on your opening statement and call any witnesses and produce any evidence you'd like. After you're done, Mr. Cole may have rebuttal information he wants to give me. If he does, I'll accept that as far as it's material and relevant. And once I have all the evidence in this case, I'll decide whether I need to take it under advisement. After I have all the evidence, we'll have closing arguments. Closing arguments are much like opening statements in that they're not evidence and they're not testimony. They're just a wrap-up telling you where the case has taken me.
I object, Your Honor, to any proceeding in this matter.
Overruled.
I hereby enter my appearance specially in the above matter for disposition to the equity of the parties.
Overruled.
Respectfully submitted this day respecting 28 U.S. Code 1746, Section 1.
I heard you the first time and you're
overruled.
Once I have all of the arguments in this case, then I'm going to decide if I make a ruling today or I take it under advisement.
What was that? The code?
What's the code sheet citing? Yeah.
Let's go back.
Take it under advisement.
Hold on, let's go back.
After I have all the evidence, we'll have closing argument.
Object, Your Honor, to any proceeding in this matter.
Overruled.
I do hereby enter my appearance specially in the above matter for disposition to the equity of the parties.
Overruled.
Respectfully submitted this day respecting 28 U.S. Code 1746, Section 1.
28 USC 1746, Section 1.
You the first time and you're overruled. Once I have all of the arguments in this case, then I'm going to decide if I make a ruling today or I take it under advisement. If I make a ruling today, I'll notify the parties. If I take it under advisement, I'll let you know. Mr. Cole, do you want to make an opening statement in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Allen, do you want to make an opening statement in this case?
I don't know why he asked her that question. Well, it's protocol, but we all know what she's about to say.
I, Diane Killian, do hereby enter my appearance specially in the above matter for disposition to the equity of the parties. Respect.
And again, it's the script. It's all the script. I believe she's one of the state nationals, which is usually espoused by David Straight and Anna Von Reitz, those gurus.
I've been typing notes, and I have it in my notes. Might be closer to an American state national. I was also getting that feeling. The passport. That's not something you usually see with sovereign citizens,
right?
Pure sovereign citizens. But American state nationals, I could see that being one of their arguments where they're like, well, I'm a citizen of this country, but not the state, or vice versa. Their argument makes less sense.
Or the feds. Yeah, I know.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, they couch themselves as we're citizens of the de jure, or the de jure states. We're not members of the federal government. Why? Or no, the passport is because they oh my God, non-citizen national. That's what it is. So, as far as I can recall, and chat can correct and confirm this for me, the only non-citizen nationals are folks from American Samoa.
Right.
That's it. That's the only people who have that status. So Sov sits like David Strait and others have said, oh well, you can opt out as the 14th Amendment privileged citizen class and become non-citizen nationals by doing this, that, and the other, and then you can and then you just use your passport as your form of ID, because citizens of American Samoa can still get a passport. They have a special one as designating themselves as non-citizen nationals. So that's where it is. Now, yeah, it's a call coming back to me.
The 14th Amendment argument, I believe, was started by William P. Gale in late 60s, early 70s, when the whole movement really started from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The American Samoa stuff with its American territories, it should specifically be from one of the statutes regarding laws for immigration.
Yes, they cite to the immigration statute. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, we get some of the protections from the United States, but we are not considered full citizens. We can't run for office, federal office, and therefore, we accept some of the jurisdiction, not all of the jurisdiction. I assume that's the argument, but none of the things that they cite can even be remotely interpreted that way with any degree of reasonableness. It's just a mess.
No, they think that calling themselves non-citizen nationals is like the magic loophole that gives them all the rights but none of the obligations. So if they couch themselves as non-citizen nationals, then they can get out of traffic laws, taxes, everything in between, but still retain every form of protected right that they believe they have under the Constitution. That's basically what they think. They think it's the the magic bullet, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully submitted to the state, respecting 28 U.S. Code 1746, Section 1.
I understand. Thank you. Mr. Cole, you can call your first witness.
Thank you, Judge. I do have one housekeeping matter.
Go ahead.
I would ask the court to ask the defendant if she intends to assert a defense under 53.3.217. So a person who is charged with not carrying a license with them, which is what she's charged with in count 1, has an absolute defense to that if she can produce in court a driver license that was valid on the day of the ticket. I'd like to give her an opportunity to assert that defense.
Miss Allen, Mr. Cole's making reference to Utah Code 53.3.217, subpart 2, subpart B2. It's a defense to a charge of not having a valid license if you can produce in court a driver's license that had been issued to you that was valid at the time that you were arrested or cited. So Mr. Cole's offering you the chance to exercise an absolute defense to the one charge concerning your driver's license. Do you want to take advantage of that and have that charge dismissed?
I object, Your Honor. What Mr. Cole is saying is hearsay,
Overruled.
and I do hereby enter my...
I don't know where she gets the idea that anything he said was hearsay. He wasn't testifying at all. He was, in fact, trying to do her a favor by letting you know, hey, if you actually produce your license, the first count is automatically dismissed. I don't know where she's getting this idea that it's freaking hearsay. I swear, I think next to jurisdiction, I feel like hearsay is probably the most abused legal argument that Sovsits raised at trial.
Your Honor, I don't know when my birthday is. I was not cognizant of how dates work at the time. How could I possibly know?
Which is, of course, an exception to the hearsay rule. There are a couple things I want to ask you, because she's saying she's appearing specially.
Yes.
And then there's 28 USC 1746. Now, my understanding of appearing specially is you're showing up, but you're not accepting the jurisdiction of the court.
The only just real brief. The only legitimate time these days for there to be a special appearance is, say for example, I do business here in New Jersey. I only do business in New Jersey, and so on and so forth. And somebody sues my company from Texas. I've never done anything in Texas. I know. I had never done anything in Texas. I have no business contacts in Texas, whatever. But I've been served these papers. What I could do is I could hire an attorney in Texas to act on my behalf and appear specially to challenge the actual jurisdiction of the court, because I didn't do anything there. I have no contacts. Because if I were to go to Texas and appear, then they could say they got personal jurisdiction over me, because I appeared myself. But if my attorney appears on my behalf, he can make that special appearance.
Now this is only going to work if they already do not have jurisdiction over you because of general or personal jurisdiction. You're not in the state where it happened. You're being charged with a crime that you couldn't have committed.
This doesn't work. This doesn't work in a criminal matter if you actually allegedly did the crime in Texas. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It don't work like that.
For 28 U.S.C. 1746, that's unsworn declarations under penalty of perjury. I'm assuming she's trying to be like, well, I'm not going to swear to anything because that would confer jurisdiction. Therefore, it's an unsworn declaration. I don't know if that's the logic she's going for. That's kind of what I'm assuming. It still doesn't make sense.
I will say this is her citation is a new one for me. I will say that I haven't heard this one in the script before. This citation to this specific U.S. code. Yeah.
Parent specially in the above matter for disposition to the equity of all the parties.
Overruled. Mr. Cole,
Objection.
Apparently overruled. I'm not going to listen to you make an objection 3 times. Mr. Cole, apparently she doesn't want to take advantage.
If you didn't hear that,
if
you didn't hear that, the individual who said they're committing treason is pretty low. Is the son.
No benefit, Your Honor. I am not participating in a trial. I have challenged subject matter jurisdiction. It has not been proven. And I do hereby enter my appearance specially in the above matter for disposition to the equity of parties.
I've heard you 4 times now, Miss Allen. You can keep saying that. I've got a copy of what you submitted. I've heard you 4 times. I'm happy to note your objection for the record.
Absolutely not.
You're committing involuntary servitude and treason.
Involuntary servitude, somehow.
We are not holding court in this matter.
You have a warrant for your arrest.
And allegedly, the officer said he had an outstanding warrant, and hence the reason why they're arresting him.
What warrant? What evidence? Provide probable
Violating our
cause.
rights, both of us. This is absolutely unacceptable. Let him go right now. Let him go.
Please don't.
You let him go. Absolutely not. You let him go. He's done nothing wrong.
He's got a warrant.
He's done nothing wrong.
Give the paper.
Stand
Let
right
go
here.
of me.
Ma'am.
Absolutely not.
Can't
You
have
let
him
go of
interrupting
me.
the court.
You let him go right now. You have no warrant. You have nothing. Let him go. Get off of him. Judge, these proceedings are absolutely improper and inappropriate.
You haven't done shit.
Let him go.
Get on the ground. This is battery and assault. Intent. Voluntary servitude under Title 18.
You're not going over there right now.
You know what? You have no right
This
to
is
do
treason.
Absolutely not. This is absolutely improper.
They see
Let him go.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, the reason I'm showing this is because just to demonstrate that it's, mom has gone all in. I still don't know yet for how long she's been all in on this. But obviously the son is right there next to her.
Right now, you let him go.
Deacon, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much for your support.
Let him go. Right this minute, you let him go. You know that this is improper. You absolutely do know this is improper. This entire proceeding is improper. Let him go right now. There has been no warrant. There's been no crime committed here. This is absolutely inappropriate. What's your name? What's your badge number? Okay, and what are your names? Every one of you, what are your names?
Miss Allen, I'll be happy to get you all of their names
What
as
they
soon
are
as they're
doing
finished.
is absolutely a violation of the law.
What resistance? You
Let him go. You
Miss
did.
Allen,
You have instructed these
As
officers
soon-
to assault him. Let him go.
as soon as they're done, I'll get you all
You
of
are
their...
assaulting him. This is assault and battery.
This is involuntary service.
Let him go.
13
He has
commandments
done
as
nothing
well.
wrong. He was sitting here. These courts are to be open to the public. He said nothing to you. He did not disrupt anything. The disruption was caused by these 4 officers right here.
Sit him up.
Let him go. Let him go.
Step back.
Sit up, please.
You do not tell me what to do. You need to let him go right now.
You're not letting him go.
Is there anything I can do to seek your compliance?
I am not complying.
Let him go.
Signatures in order for any freaking court procedure to
Just carrying
been done.
in there.
You don't have a warrant. You don't have probable cause.
Hey, we're
You
gonna
can
stand you
get
up.
served.
You gonna walk for us?
I'm not going to go anywhere for you.
Okay.
Let him go right now. You take those cuffs off of him.
Miss Allen, you're not supposed to have your cell phone on in the courtroom. Please turn it off.
Says who?
800 West South State Street, Davis County Justice Court. Someone's being assaulted.
Is this 911?
Yes, it is.
Hang up.
Yeah, she called 911 on the bailiffs / sheriff's deputies, whoever does the whole whoever does law enforcement or security in the court. They called 911 on them.
I'm not hanging up. You need to call. You need to direct them in here right now. Their rights are being violated. They're saying assault and battery. I'm being assaulted.
Ma'am,
I'm being assaulted. Please, you need to send help right now.
You were committing a crime.
Diane
Hang up the
Allen.
phone. You were committing a crime. Hang up the phone.
The one committing the crime is you. This is assault. This
Ma'am,
is
you need
battery.
to hang up the phone.
I need help. I live at Davis County Justice Court and I'm being assaulted. My son has been assaulted. I need help.
Davis Dudley 22.
No, they're taking him in the back room where I cannot see him
You
any
guys on the
longer.
phone with someone from the courts right now?
They have been placing their hands on me, forcing me to do things I don't want to do,
I'm
and
asking
they
you
placed
if you're on the
cuffs
phone
on
with
my
someone from
son
the
for something he was sitting peacefully in the courtroom. I need help right
On
now.
the
He's done
911
nothing wrong. I need help sent right now.
Yeah, that's me in
Thank
the
you.
background. It's non-emergency. You can
It
disconnect.
is an emergency. Do not disconnect that call. It is an emergency. I've been assaulted and my son has been assaulted with no cause.
Miss Allen,
No cause.
please hang up your phone.
I will not.
You're committing...
You all here have been participating in crimes against both of us without cause.
You guys
Okay.
disconnected.
Do not hang up this call. I need help sent right now.
You're
These
good to
people are
disconnect.
violating
We're
my
here
rights.
right now.
They're violating my
This
son
is
right.
not
I need
important.
help.
You need to let that-
Miss Allen, I'm going to ask you to please hang
Yes.
up your cell phone.
I'm listening to you.
Unfortunately, we don't have video delete laws.
I'm gonna give you warning right now. Hang up and follow the judge's directions, or I'm gonna
Right. Guys, just to let you know, this is official court audio. That's why you can actually hear the judge. FYI. So it's not coming from mom. This isn't a clandestine audio recording. This is actual court audio because you can actually hear the judge's voice.
I will leave, but I am not going to participate in these.
Turn the phone off right here.
No, I'm staying on the phone with these
Myself who
officers.
responded to that call.
No, someone else needs to be responding besides you because you are the one violating my rights.
Under Title 19, Section 912, 913.
Then you need to let me pass.
No,
This
you're
is
not.
wholly improper. Every one of you.
Ma'am, you need to hang up the phone.
No, sir, you don't.
Ah,
You don't get to tell me.
I might be getting Comcasted.
You violated my rights. You violated his rights, and this is a huge problem.
Miss
I
Allen,
need to be able to press charges and file a report.
Miss Allen, will you please hang up your phone so we can proceed with your trial?
We can't proceed. There is no trial.
We can
Oh.
proceed.
No, we cannot.
Okay. You say so.
Have you guys hung up? Yes, please do.
If they hang up, it will be a violation of their duties as well. You are sworn officers of the law. You've sworn an oath to the Constitution. You've sworn oaths of office. Every one of you are violating my rights. You're violating my son's rights. And I need...
You're not going
Miss
to
Allen?
911 again. That's causing a public safety issue for something that's not an emergency.
It is an emergency
Miss
because you are
Allen.
assaulting me right now. You are assaulting me, and it is a public safety issue because you are
They're
assaulting me.
short-staffed in there, and you...
It has nothing to do with them. Let me go.
Okay. Now I'm going to let go.
Take your hand
you
off
either
of me.
sit down and listen to the judge.
I will be leaving, and you will not stop me.
You want me to stop her?
If she wants to leave, she can leave. Make sure she has her phone, Deputy King.
We'll walk you off.
Mr. Cole,
Sheriff,
she has been here. I advised her when she was here earlier about a trial in absentia. She's clearly not being held against her will at the present time, and she was able to be here in court. Would you like to proceed in her absence?
Yes, Judge. She left voluntarily and indicated multiple times that this was not a trial she wanted to participate in.
Well,
I'd ask to proceed and call my first witness.
Then I'll let you go ahead, and if you want to make an opening statement, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, you can call your first witness.
The city calls Officer Dane Hanson.
Easy mode.
Officer, will you please come forward, face the clerk, and let her put you under oath?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So, I mean, up and out. Yeah. Look, if you show up, if the court knows that you, if you have sufficient notice, especially if they see you in person or you're here, and then you voluntarily leave, yeah, they can move on without you in absentia. You were given proper notice. Because think about it. If there was a way for you to just be able to leave, if you thought that you were going to be guilty, right, and you could just leave, and they couldn't go on without you, you just not show up ever, and the case will be perpetually put on hold until it's rescheduled.
Thank you. Feel have a seat.
Officer, that chair there has arms that are adjustable, so if it's not wide enough for your utility belt,
Also, yes, Paul.
a little bit, and then make yourself comfortable, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
And when he's ready, Mr. Cole, you can begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. You are Officer Dane Hanson.
I am.
Are you a certified police officer in the state of Utah?
I am.
Where do you work?
Farmington Police Department.
How long have you worked there?
Just over 3 years.
What's your current assignment?
I'm a patrol officer.
Were you on duty on April 7th of this year?
I was.
And did you stop a car for a registration problem?
I did.
Who was driving that car?
Diane Killian?
Also known as Diane Killian Allen?
Yes, sir.
That's the person who was in court today before she decided to leave?
Yes, sir.
Why did you stop her car?
The registration on the vehicle showed expired.
Where was the location of the stop?
I stopped the vehicle on northbound Furnace Road, just north of Park Lane.
A public roadway?
Yes, sir.
And how did you determine that
Mr. Cole, I apologize to interrupt you, but did you say the frontage road before Park Lane?
The frontage road just north of Park Lane.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Cole.
That's still within Farmington city limits, yeah?
Yes, sir. It is between Park Lane and Shepherd Lane.
How did you determine that the registration of the car was expired?
I visually observed that the license plate decals showed it was expired from September of last year. I verified that with through Spillman, which is in relation to the DMV documents.
So Spillman has real-time access to DMV records?
It does.
And it tells you the DMV status of any particular vehicle?
Yes.
Were you satisfied that the registration was expired?
Yes.
Did you approach the car? Did you approach the car?
I did.
Who was driving?
Diane Allen.
Was there anyone else in the car?
There was not.
Which side did you approach from?
The passenger side.
Did you have body cam on at the time?
I did.
Did you also have dash cam?
Yes.
Have those been preserved?
Yes.
When you approached her, what did you say to her at the first?
I mean, let me see. I think, I mean, honestly, we don't necessarily need to hear the rest of it because she's not even appearing here.
There's been an information that was filed in this case. Actually, I think it was captioned, amended the information. But it was...
Deacon, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Wow. Thank you very much, Deacon. I appreciate it.
Filed on... prosecution where they could have her served with an information. So I ordered that she report to the prosecutor's office the Friday after our last in-person hearing. You're telling me she didn't do that, but you mailed a copy of the information to her last known address?
Yes, I had my paralegal do that, and I believe she's filed a certificate that she mailed it.
She did file a certificate that she was rescinding it and sending it back to us. In the information, you've charged her with 2 counts of violating Utah law. First of all, Section 53.3217(1)A, which is all drivers have to have a license in their possession. As I look at the elements of that crime, it says the licensee shall have the license certificate in his immediate possession at all times when driving a motor vehicle. My best assessment of the evidence in this case is that Officer Hansen identified Miss Allen as the person who was driving a vehicle on April 7th of 2022 when he stopped her for having an expired registration. And pursuant to his testimony, she was unwilling or unable to provide a license pursuant to 3.
She's found guilty, ultimately. Let's be real.
Miss Allen's guilty of a violation of 41(1)(a)(13)(03), and I'm entering convictions for both counts in this case. Now, Mr. Cole, when I notified Miss Allen about trials in absentia, I think I also, following my common practice, advised her that she can be sentenced if the same conditions apply. That is, that she's not being held against her will and she's voluntarily absented herself from our proceedings. Do you want me to impose sentence today, or do you want me to set a sentencing hearing and where I sentence Miss Allen?
Judge, I just suggested the court impose the standard fee schedule fine for each of the infractions.
And what do you understand the standard fees to be for each one of these violations?
I think...
Do you want me to give it to you? It's $50 per violation.
That is my suggestion, Judge.
So $100.
It just doesn't feel worth it.
I know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can empathize with, the tax man and having to pay it all, and I can understand that. But, I gotta renew my license. Renewing my license is I don't know. I can't remember the last time I paid. It's like $45. But renewing my license is like every 4 years, I think, in New Jersey. $45 every 4 years. Registration in New Jersey is actually pretty cheap, from what I understand, compared to other states. So annual registration, it's not worth it. I understand in other states it's actually a lot higher, but it's not worth it. And then insurance, dude, the insurance is for the other guy, not necessarily for me. I would get unbelievably screwed. And the other person would be screwed over if I didn't have insurance. And if I was to be caught without insurance in New Jersey, it's an immediate tow. It's an immediate tow, and the fine is something obscene in New Jersey. It's just not worth it, man. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm going to impose for count number 1, no jail time.
It's not the hill to die on. That's all I gotta say. It's not the hill worth dying on.
$50 fine. Now, if Miss Allen comes to court and shows the court a license that covered the time she was driving, then she won't owe the fine, but the conviction will stay in place. So I'm going to let her still use the defense to avoid the fine, Mr. Cole.
Scott, driving in. Thank you, Scott Billman. In New Jersey, driving without insurance is like trying to pump your own gas. True.
No jail time and a $50 fine. If she brings in proof that the car's been registered since this incident, then she could get the credit that we would normally give somebody. We can't give that credit. Did it?
They have to, within 2 months.
Within 2 months. Okay. Then she'll have to pay the $50 for that violation, whether she can bring proof or not. Mr. Cole, and any notice that we send to her should include her right to appeal, please. I don't know if we have that in the standard notices that we send, but in this case, she'll need to be advised of that. Mr. Cole, anything else in this case?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, and we'll be in recess.
All right. All right. So now we're going to go to the main. Hold on. Of course, my PC decides to like. I want to work slow for some reason. There it is. Again, shout out to police activity. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it smaller so that not everything is going to be blocked by video screen, people's videos and whatnot, so that we can get a more full picture. You guys can see it? All right.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm Officer Farmington Police. The reason for the stop today is there's no registration on your vehicle.
I don't need registration and I don't answer questions.
Alrighty. Davis, Fox 21. Can you have a couple more heading my way? Is this back window roll down?
Why do you need to know that?
I just want to make sure that you're the only one in the vehicle. So here's the deal, man. I'm stopping you because there's no registration on your vehicle, and I'm requesting your identification. Okay? You are detained at this time, and you are not free to leave. Are you going to provide me your identification?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, so I'm going to take that as a no, that you're not going to provide me your identification. Is that the route we're going? Or would you like to provide your identification to me, and we can have a conversation, we can discuss the laws that you're breaking, and then we can go from there.
If you want my identification, you will be under duress, and you accept surety and trusteeship over it.
So he said it'd be under duress and you accept surety and trust. So yeah, we're already deep in the weeds.
I bring this up because some people are like, oh, why would you say under duress? I like that they say under duress, because if the officer actually is doing the wrong thing, and I'm not saying this officer is, I definitely think the officer here is correct. If an officer is attempting to compel you through lawful or what they are suggesting is lawful order to do something that you don't have to do, and the consequence of not doing that is further action against you. I mean, I say all the time, fight it in court, not on the streets. So if an officer's like, you have to provide me your ID, and you don't believe that you do, you can say, okay, I'm providing this to you under duress. That way, if there is an issue, if you do file a lawsuit, if you do become involved in a lawsuit, and that officer has to defend that action, the officer can't say, well, I only asked for it. They volunteered it. Right? They didn't have to provide it, but I suggested it, and they did it. It was a voluntary, they provided voluntarily. If you say at the beginning, I'm providing this under duress, that argument goes away. So I do like that he's saying under duress. He is wrong, but the idea behind it is valid, and I do approve of it.
My only thing is, like, I get what you're saying, but I think in an instance where if you're going to fight it, I think the courts will I would think can entertain the idea that that following it can be implied that it's under duress only because the officer is in a position of authority. They have a firearm on them. There are other circumstances that you could point to that you can imply that what you were doing was under duress. But I agree with you that saying but saying it explicitly just can only make it easier. Yes, I agree.
Meaning you will be responsible for any debts that you're trying to incur here.
Okay, so I'm not trying to incur any debts or anything. I'm trying to investigate why your vehicle doesn't have any registration.
1692, you are trying to incur a debt and legal action for something that is not allowed.
Okay.
And under
So,
Title 18, Section 245, traveling is a federally protected activity.
Traveling a what?
You are trying to incur
I'm trying to hear the code.
debt and legal action for something that is not allowed.
Okay.
And under Title
So,
18, Section 245.
18 Section 245.
I know that one. That one's
that's a new one to me.
You can't. No, that one pops up occasionally. That it's not super common. That one is protection of constitutional activity or prohibition of constitutional activity. Basically, I think what he's trying to argue is his activities are constitutionally protected, and therefore this officer is prohibited by 18 USC 245.
Federally protected activities.
Him from engaging. That's it.
But weird.
Yeah, it's something you sometimes see alongside 18 USC 242.
Traveling in or using any facility of interstate commerce. That probably is it. 18 USC 245 section 2 section 2E. Interesting.
I understand what you're saying, and what I'm telling you is that you do not have an option to identify yourself.
I do.
You are lawfully required to identify yourself, so you can provide your identification to me, and we can have a conversation about the laws that you've broken, or you can fail to identify it to me, and we can go that route too. I'm perfectly okay with either way you want to go, but the direction that this encounter goes is 100% in your hands.
Sir, Utah Code, United States Code, is a corporate policy. Which
There it is.
Contracted into the
Corporate policy.
Unless you can provide me a contract with my wet ink signature.
Where are those bingo cards?
Wedding signature. I know, right?
I'm required to follow it.
Okay.
I'm not doing a bingo because of what happens here. That's the reason why. But I mean,
so do you want to identify yourself to me, or do you want to go a different route? Wonderful. Do you have a driver license as well?
I am not giving you jurisdiction.
Okay.
Do not stop. Do not detain. You are not allowed to stop me.
Let me see that. I didn't see what you just tried to show me. Can you show that to me again?
So yeah, that's another thing that they like to do. What he just said there is, as part of their package, becoming a state national or a non-citizen national, is like they like to send BS paperwork to their local county office, their Secretary of State's office for the state, letting them know I am a state national or non-citizen national. I am therefore on a do not stop, do not detain list. Because apparently that's a great thing to have, that you can be on a special list where cops cannot ever stop or detain you ever. But it is you know, it is what it is.
What's this?
This is a passport. It says, do not stay up, do not detain. And if you go on to the first page,
Okay.
it says, the United States hereby requests all who may concern
Okay.
to permit the citizen
Here's what I'm telling you.
United States named herein
Here's what I'm telling you.
without delay or hindrance.
Okay,
You are
will you hand that to me so I can read it? You want me to look at it through this tiny crack in your window?
I'm handing it to you.
You're not going to hand it to me?
If I hand this to you, you accept trusteeship and surety, and you are obligated.
Sure, I'll accept trusting ship if you just hand me.
I'll accept trusting ship. I mean, you know, the cop's like, whatever. Sure, fine. Just give me whatever that is. From what I saw, I don't know if that passport is genuine or not. I'm leaning on no.
The document so I can identify who you are because you're required by state.
I mean, it actually looks genuine. It looks like a genuine passport at first glance.
State law.
I am not
Thank you
required
so
to
much,
identify
Mr.
myself.
Chase Allen.
That is not me. That is a piece of plastic paper.
So you have a
I'm a
fraudulent
flesh and blood
passport?
person. I'm not the entity.
Yeah, exactly.
No. that is a
Wonderful.
piece of paper.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay, step out of the car for me.
No.
Sir, step out of the vehicle
No.
right now.
I am not required to.
Step
If
out
you
of this
try and
vehicle
force
right
me
now.
Okay. So, if anything, this is actually the most important and pivotal body camera. I just realized because this is the initial officer on scene, and he's the one who I believe opens up the vehicle door in the first place. So I'm gonna make sure I have this the playback. All right, so I know what.
We're going to have an issue where
Sir,
you're
step
gonna have
out of the
to
car
come-
right now.
Don't step out of the car. We're going to break the window and pull you out. Step out of the car.
Oh wait, I think this officer's body camera is actually more important because it's gonna be the more
Also, someone in chat was saying, just to warn people before everything goes down, it's about to go down. So if you don't want to see the consequences,
what I'm going to do is I will probably pause and fast forward. Probably because I think the most crucial body camera footage is from this officer who actually puts his hands on him. But I'm not going to show what happens. You guys can see it. It's already up there on the internet's all over the place. So I'm not going to show everything. All right. So you hear the gun firing. So that's ultimately what happens. I'm going to fast forward to the other officer.
Let me grab that IFAC.
An IFAC right?
Who shot? I did. Multiple
IFAC is a medical kit for those wondering.
Can you?
So you have a fraudulent passport? Wonderful. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, step out of the car for me. Sir, step out of the vehicle right now. Step out of this vehicle right now. Step out of the car right now.
If you don't step out of the car, we're going to break the window and pull you out. Step out of the car.
All right. So I think that's actually a good angle to look at. So I'm going to play the video, but at a very low speed.
Right now. Step out of this vehicle.
Actually, am I able to do this a little bit better? I kind of wish I could do it by no, I can't. All right, hold on.
I see it, persnickety.
There was much rejoicing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dave, thank you for the $5. Stop messing around with these fools. No paperwork. Don't play their game. Take them, tell them, need to move on. Don't encourage them. I think so. We're now at the point where officers need to just cut them off at the head, give them the ticket, and get them on their way, and not, kind of mess with it. Super chat to Persnickety. Super chat to remind Boo again about the body cam question, so I don't forget to remind him. Gotcha.
Right now.
All right, this isn't slow enough. I wish there was a hotkey.
Step out of the car. If you don't step out of the car, we're gonna break the window and pull you out. Step out of the car.
Okay, so right there, he's back. His arm is back. The holster at the holster with the gun is on his right side.
Gun.
And I think this officer's the one who says gun, gun, gun. I'm not sure.